without further ado, let's get into the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome you all to the afternoon session. Let us start. Every time you can notice the discrepancy between the topic displayed and the point of my discussion. Given topics for 3 days, I have got invitation. The topics are random forest. Still, we are in the random forest, but it is going far away with all the ensembling technique I am trying to address, ensembling techniques. Talking about random forest alone, 1 hour is sufficient, but all the understanding, the complete sphere, that talking about random forest alone, it would take minimum, I can say, 5 hours to 10 hours worth investing in learning. 5 to 10 hours. Otherwise, periphery level learning will happen, but that is the first step. Then we need to go for vertical learning. The next is the topic given is statistical measure, probability distribution, hypothesis testing, t-test, z-test, ANOVA. These are all the kind of topics proposed. I have complete material. I'll show you, I'll walk through after the coding. And I have recorded video, detailed recorded video for 10 hours I have for this on my YouTube channel. I'll shortly share my YouTube channel link as well. I request you to subscribe for the channel. If you wish, then I'll walk through what are all the topics I have in my YouTube channel, what I would be doing in the future also. That is the reason I'm investing here. Although the topics are given to me to handle, time permits, we will touch upon. Open-ended problems in AI. I wanted to shift or postpone here. So instead of today, I want to postpone that. That is the end or conclusion we need to end with. The next other topics given to me are logistic regression, text mining, and time series analysis. Tomorrow we will be discussing this along with this. So this is the assurity I'm giving. These are all the given topics. We need to go further. We are still in this topic. Let us quickly wrap up in 1 hour. Then we move on to this for at least half an hour to 45 minutes. Then I'll walk through material. I have around 60 pages of perfect material, or I can say the best material for the beginner. To start with, these are all the notions. Then this tomorrow, this is tomorrow, this is also tomorrow. All the three we are postponing to tomorrow. That's it. These are all the topics given to me. Still, I am spending here itself because understanding one notebook for one model, understanding one model in and out, it is worth enough. Because whatever we discuss, for example, overfit, underfit, bias, variance, hyperparameter, exploratory data, how we are exploring, these all common for any topic which we discuss. So it is worth enough. We are not only discussing on this topic alone. These are all the concepts common for any model, linear regression, these all. So that it is good that we can go. Then beyond that, boosting. That boosting technique, it is suitable for all the predictions. All the type of predictions it is suitable, both numerical and what to say, classification. So entire supervised learning, it is good enough to understand this ensemble model, or what to say, this complete boosting technique or ensemble model. So that's the reason I'm going through this for your understanding. However, you say it is speed also, the given topic I am not at all covering. So you are all telling, many of you, it is too fast. But look at the topics given to me. It is a challenge. What can I do? It is an ocean. So whether I need to take a horizontal, breadthwise or vertical, I am confused. So breadthwise means I can talk 25 topics, but nothing will go deeper. We will be unfit. We know the definition. We don't know how it is working. Actually, when we are, I'm just dragging because I'm waiting for the participant to arrive. When we are knowing what, it is not at all, it is a basic level of thinking. When we are knowing how it works, next level of thinking, why this algorithm, the complete learning happens. So if you decide whether you want to what, how, why, what is what, if I still all the topic I can cover, how it is working, it will take time. Why it is needed, complete learning. This is how I will learn. I'll start with what for entire thing, then I'll move on to how, then I will ask question why, then what best next. Next we need to think what best. Next we need to go for interpretive thinking. Interpretive thinking is we need to start thinking multiple perspective, multiple algorithms together, multiple angle. This is how the thinking process, thought process, or the brain should work. The complete understanding or being master of anything, especially being a teacher community. So this is what I aim at, so that I'm going for these all the 3 questions. So it is taking a lot of time. So we started these all in the morning. I just go through. Already I have compiled or whatever executed every cell. Now I stopped at this point. This is where I stopped in second execution. We have obtained, these are all the matrices. Again, during theory discussion, maybe in half an hour, I will shift to theory. I'll explain. Morning, I have seen few of you have asked a question when to use precision, when to use recall, why to use. That all those answers I will be addressing shortly in half an hour. So let us move forward. So this is the way we started finding out the report, complete report of the classification model, confusion matrix classification report. Next is we started looking at the loss function or cost function, the negative end, how it, what is the amount of error. To quantify the amount of error, we started looking at all the possible matrices available, that mean absolute error, mean squared error, root mean squared error. So it is also doing well. So next, actually I can say this is blessed data. There is no harm with this data, because several doctors and professors worked on this data cleaning. We are getting from the UCA machine learning repository absolute or perfectly what to say, cleaned data. That is the reason it responds this much perfect. So there are data, if you consider, error would be like accuracy, 80% error, 0.8 and all you will get. Accuracy would be 30%. So that is where challenge comes. So that kind of challenging data, tomorrow I will discuss for the logistic regression. So now we are moving on to, then this is how you need to predict. After deploying the model, data will come. For example, Amazon prediction, giving you the discount based on your what to say, the frequency or loyal customer, whatever. Then the depending upon your data entry, whatever the basket, the products you are buying, immediately that needs to be given to the model which is deployed already in the machine. So by the time only one data only will go, no CSV file. So that also we should know, we should understand how the models are predicting on the website. There are plenty of stuff I wanted to talk. Time is the only constraint. Regarding that, I request you to keep watching the channel. If you wish, you can continue with the channel. You can learn a few more things, whatever I am working through, whatever I am coming across. I have 40 more videos to be discussed, means to be uploaded, 40 more videos, no time to upload also. So that's the reason I'm asking. Yeah, I will give, it is available in the notebook itself, the YouTube link. I will walk through one by one. I'm coming, I'll walk through. So next, let us move on to this. This is how it predicts. So we need to give the data and it predicts. That model RF has all the learning parameter. RF.fit, it provides all the necessary parameters are learning. We call machine learning, no? This is where.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me,
Am I
ma'am, please share
not
your
Can you
visible?
please
Not
share it
audible?
again?
A screen
Your
not
screen is
available.
not. Yes, yes.
I don't know. Some one thing I am touching the button, immediately I'm jumping, slipping out of the
It
position.
happens.
Go to
It's
me.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's visible. Yeah, good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this one, this is what machine is learning. We all talk about machine learning, so it will give error. Yeah, we all talk about machine learning, where the machine is learning. This is the line machine is learning. What is it? Jupyter Notebook doesn't provide the way to, what to say, highlight, coloring. So this is the line, exactly machine is learning. Training is done. See, after the moment the class is done, if I conduct a test, you can definitely get decent, good marks. How you are getting? So you are learning through books, through test, or through articulation, or through YouTube, whatever. So that learning is available with the RF. So this RF is powerful enough to write exam. So that is why we are using RF for the testing. So here, if you look at, I use only RF. This is what called learning parameter. Machine started learning in that parameter, RF.predict we are doing. So that one point is sufficient. So this is the syntax. So for which model we are expecting the feature importance for the RF model. So RF dot feature underscore importance. If you want to know more about PD dot series, just go through. Yesterday I was feeling fainting because I need to give the guidance for the learning material. It has 500, maybe 100 parameters only for this function. PD dot series itself. 100 parameters are available inside. This is what hyperparameter tuning. What parameter we need to give, which order we need to give, how to give, when to give. These are all those things. So this is a complete manual for PD dot series. Then coming out with the combinations for suitable for our work, it will take half an hour to 1 hour. So never we will be expertise with respect to Python and machine learning and deep learning. It will keep on going, ever going matter. Then we started finding out the prominent features. Feature weight will be attached. This is a feature weight. This weight is the indicator for all of us, which is the parameter is explaining more. So that is what here one of the participants given answer. I have pasted. I'll come back to that. So next, just to show for fun, for making fun with you all, I started picking the top 4 prominent features. So these are all the 4-5 parameters are having good amount of weight. So that weight I am looking at and I am using those. Then what happened? Then we started splitting the data. Then we started developing the model with the max. These all the hyperparameter you can tune. Max features you can set to 5 also, verify. It may be improved also. If you know the science behind why after 5 it is improving or why after 5 it is decreasing, that is where theory is required. Play is easy. The moment we have the code, we can play with like trial and error, we can work. Next, so I didn't do any hyperparameter tuning. I will talk about hyperparameter tuning techniques a little bit. Next, sklearn. For this, we have seen, I need to execute from this point onwards. Wait a minute. Mean absolute error. After that, now we understood that it is lesser. Then error. Error is also bit higher. See, we have seen 0.5, here 0.828. It is bit higher. Why it is the percentage of variability explained by the top 4 prominent features may not be enough to represent overall variability. That is one answer. Another answer is during training time, overfitting happened because lesser number of features, it will start memorizing. It will start exactly finding that answer. There are 2 ways. We don't know exactly. We need to explore both also. Why this is happening? Either this is the reason or what I'm telling is the reason. So not both, either one of the reason that we need to go for internally understanding each and every step or intermediate results or meta stage of that learning we need to understand. That's all. Now, much more better features are considered except the least 5-6 features discarded. Then we are building the model. Again, there is no improvement, but however, it is much better than that 4. The original accuracy which we have got is almost 94, more or less the same only we got. The complete 30 columns, only with the 20 columns, the answer is same. Now let us move on to the absolute error. This is also more or less to the original model we have reached. So without more parameters, we have obtained the same accuracy or same matrices. All the matrices are more or less same. Now this is what my YouTube channel, I have given here the playlist. So this URL is available. At the end, time permits, I'll walk through, not now. It will be a diversion. So now we are moving on to visual plot of whatever the score we have obtained. So this is what it shows. Perimeter is a prominent feature. That's all. That already we visual analytics, visualization, anything we can call it as. So that I wanted to show that also. There is no meaning in it. Already we have seen. Now we are going for gradient boosting. So every boosting technique, the working principle is different. I myself don't know working principle of all the boosting. Overall boosting, how it works, I'll explain. Then how ADA boosting is working, I will explain. That both itself will take a minimum 25 minutes. So let us see. Now I am applying ADA boosting. There is no big difference. As like original, or considering the prominent features only, it shows. Where it increases, I'll show you the excitement of improved answer. So the error is still same, because the accuracy moment it becomes same for the normal random forest. This also becomes the same. This is one of the boosting technique, that is ADA boosting. Let us see another boosting. Sorry, what is this? Gradient boosting. Let us see another boosting technique, ADA boosting. This ADA boosting also, there is no big improvement. So it is working well, that's all. Next, we are seeing the same matrices. Next, extra gradient boosting. Variant of gradient boosting, but working principle will vary. See, it takes a lot of time. This time, how much time it takes itself, we can predict which model is doing good. So now, the time complexity perspective. Light gradient boosting also available. That is brought by Microsoft. Light gradient boosting, one more boosting. I didn't do, because this is the modeling I did before submitting the paper. By the time I was not aware, later on I came to know. So this is extra gradient boosting. Next is this. Now I am coming to another technique called bagging classifier. The base model for the bagging classifier used is decision tree. What is bagging? We are going to discuss shortly. So with that bagging, if you have got this code, you can immediately proceed with it. See, bagging classifier takes a lot of time than all other classification. So there is no big improvement. Accuracy is 95. The rest all are available here. Like these all. In this bagging classifier, used k-fold validation as well in order to avoid overfitting. This is the one concept combined together. Bagging classifier, the base learner is the basic model or base model learning model is decision tree. Then internally cross validation is the technique for avoiding the overfitting is used. Best parameter, yeah, I will come to you, Rajkumar. Then now next is last technique is which I have implemented is stacking. For this stacking, ML extend is the package required. Stacking is considered to be one of the ensemble model. Whatever in the entire notebook is meant for ensemble model. ADA boost, XGBoost, and gradient boost, and the stacking and random forest. 5 models only I did here. This all the 5 models are ensemble model. Beyond that, what are all other models available is light gradient boost. That all latest development. Then cat boost. So this, 2 more are there with the ensemble model. I didn't do in this notebook. What is stacking? I'll give you a brief theory, we'll discuss later. Finally, look at stacking accuracy is improved with 97%. Among all the ensemble standalone model, this is the only model works better. This is the only model works better. 97% accuracy. You so far now you would have not seen. You would have seen 93, 94, 95 only. Never you would have seen 97 accuracy. So this is the first time I'm showing 97 accuracy. What is stacking model? Theoretically, we will be discussing. Just you see, have a note of it. We are using several models together. K nearest and logistic regression. You try any other model also, zigzag, you can try all the model. Support vector machine also you can give. Now also I can do right in front of you. So this all the models together, we will be training every model output what is coming. Using that, we are going to have one meta learner. That meta learner will take care of aggregating the output of these all the stat learner. Meta learner concept I even feel very difficult in understanding. I'm exploring. If you wish, you can explore how the meta learner behaves, what is the nature of meta learning representation, and how that meta learning is understood by the model and how it produces the output. That part is still for me black box. So finally, one of the meta learner aggregates the result. Finally, we are getting the stacking model accuracy. So look at CLF. We are mentioning all the classification. This is classification model 1, classification model 2, 3. 3 models, logistic regression, 4 models. Then stacking classifier. We are giving all the classifiers. See, meta classifier I am using as a logistic regression. You can do another permutation combination. Meta learning classifier, you can use it as a random forest also. How that meta learner is doing, that is related to stacking classifier package. I need to go and invest minimum 1 or 2 hours. Only then I can understand much better. Or I can, if there is any YouTuber talking about this meta classifier or meta learning concept, then we can understand. This is one of the evergreen research area, meta learning. Meta learning is evergreen research area. I have seen several paper for the better acceptance meta learning. Next is validation matrices. Now the Rajkumar's question is how the parameter tuning can be done. Parameter tuning for every algorithm. This is second line I have written. This every algorithm we need to understand with respect to Python, not with respect to theory. That random forest classifier I have written, no, that function. In that function, if you go to python.org, random forest original invention or document, that is called original, who invented, they have written, not like blogger, not like me. So we need to refer that. In that it will have, to my knowledge, minimum 50 parameters means what? Input to the function will be available. We need to understand all the 50 parameters or 50 inputs. Then what are all the way every input is working, which are all the inputs are freezed, fixed, which are all the inputs are given freedom to the programmer to decide or take decision depending upon the data or depending upon the programmer's understanding perspective. They have given the freedom, or that not freedom, the based on that model functionality, they have given freedom. We need to learn the document, we need to understand, we need to go for hyperparameter tuning. When it comes hyperparameter tuning, especially random forest technique, I myself used 3 hyperparameter. I'll come back to the line, that particular line, little bit later. I'll show you how the hyperparameters are used. If you look at 3 hyperparameters are used. One is number of estimators. These are all given freedom to the user. If you don't mention, it will take default value. Then out of back score. Theory time, I will discuss what is out of back score. And maximum feature. Beyond that, we can mention about which decision tree model need to be used. This is also one of the hyperparameter tuning. There are a lot of decision tree. CART is available. C 4.5 is available. ID3 is available. Several, I have listed down in the theory, several classification models are available. How these classification models are working? Based on already, because we didn't walk through decision tree in this workshop, because no time, it is a 5 days workshop. What we you also can do, organizer also can do, I also can do, we can't do anything. So here, what are all the how these decision tree models are, these many existing in the world. Decision tree itself, 5 to 6 models available within decision tree itself. So how it is changing is based on entropy calculation, entropy or information gain. This is one technique. There is another technique is Gini index. These are all different formula, different mathematical perspectives. What is machine learning? 80% mathematics, or I can say 50% mathematics, 50% data. Then you will ask, what is the role of Python? No role of Python. Python is a language helping to both to get interact each other. Python helps maths to get interact with the data. If I don't know any language, if I know Tamil, Telugu, English, some language I should know to communicate to you, to express what is there in my head. Similarly, the meaning of Python is what? Would you give me rating for my language? Not at all. What is the way I'm explaining the technical stuff? How much learning, how much material I'm giving, that using that only you will quantify. Based on my language, none of you will bother about my language. So it is like that. Python is a kind of language, expression medium. What is all about machine learning is, it's just a math and a data. No more answer with me. That's all. Math and data. That math, you call it as theory also, you call it as philosophy also, you call it as equation also. That is your choice. So math and data is called machine learning. Python is not machine learning. Please understand. Python is a language. There are expertise, many expertise. The olden days professors, olden day researchers are using MATLAB. They are doing much more better than the recent budding data scientists like me. So this is what final solution, math and data. Now, let us go to hyperparameter tuning to the Rajkumar question. I like one of the active participant. So a lot of questions he's really listening to the session. That is what I like it. Actually, after the lockdown, I could see people are jumping here and there at a time. 5 workshops, 7 workshops they are attending. What is their role is managing the workshop attendance, Google Form. Nothing more. Finally, we are falsifying our resume without knowing anything. We put aggregation of these many workshops I have attended. Falsifying resume is biggest sin. We should know something. Wow. Very nice. 25 GB data set facing a lot of complexity here. Then GPU you need to use. So hyperparameter technique. First, we should know what are all the parameters we can tune. Tuning means what? Adjusting. Tuning means adjusting. Normally, we will tune our radio frequency, television frequency, this one, adjusting. That's all. So tuning techniques we can do. For example, number of estimators I gave 200. Why? You can ask question. Why you can't keep 100 also? Yes, I am ready to keep 100, but I need to sit and execute my notebook from the beginning to end again. Then if I keep instead of 100, 150, again I need to. Instead of 150, 155, I need to execute. One parameter, if I change also, I need to sit and execute. For that, instead of the manual work, Python Wala have brought the automation work. So one is grid search CV, another one is random search CV. This is not this I have written for my student explanation. No way this is related to this context. This is different technique. Tomorrow I will touch upon this. This is for meant for logistic regression. I was doing recap to my student so that it is brought here. So hyperparameter tuning automatically it will keep doing all the trial run. Number of estimators, it will try for 100, it will try for 110, it will try for 120. Then similarly, depth of the tree, number of leaf nodes. These are all the hyperparameter tuning techniques in. Number of features, these all are hyperparameter tuning technique. Then OBB score I have kept now. So there are several, maybe 5 to 7 parameters would be available. We need to pick what are all the parameters we want. We need to give the parameters boundary conditions to this algorithm, grid search CV, random search CV. Automatically, it will go into iterations, and it will come out with this is the best combination. Use it. It will announce to us. So that is called grid search CV, random search CV. That's all. With that, let us move to the theory session. Let me know if you have any questions, because otherwise I need to share once again. I'm finding difficulty with the GoToMeeting. If you have any questions now itself, you can use chat window regarding this notebook or regarding this coding techniques. Anywhere if you have dark spots or once again to be repeated, I am ready to explain. Otherwise, we shift to the theory part. Rajkumar, you can use TSNE or data set. I would like to know whether it is rows or columns, 25 GB data set. With respect to rows or column, why test value come from? Why test is the value available with the original data set itself. Original data set, why test is available. In my data set, there are few data set, y test value people will not give. The last week, my hackathon, y test values are not given to me because they will hide. They will keep the y test value. They will hide it for the participants. Then with my predicted value, they will verify. They will validate how my prediction is good or bad. Based on that only, they are giving me that report. Okay, 11 file, it is almost related to big data. I am not so versatile in big data. You can approach with Spark with the Spark, you may get a much better or easier way of doing things. So this is the answer for Y test. Gaurav Sharma, Professor Gaurav Sharma. This is the answer for Y test. So normally we don't have precision recall. Theory time I will touch upon Preeti, Professor Preeti. Then next is first test, then training. No. Test training means what? Dr. Verma, I ask one question. See, there is another topic called deep learning. I'm going to conduct a test now itself. 100 marks I'm going to make you to write an exam. Now itself you need to sit and write exam. Will you write? Is it possible to write an exam on, I am going to conduct an exam on econometrics. Can you able to write? Not at all. Because unless otherwise I give you a training or I give you a time for your own learning, I can't test. No, it is like that. Unless otherwise machine learning training is not happened, it is not possible to go with the test. See, your students are there, no? The moment they come to your college, the day one, will you conduct exam, main examination? Not, no. You will spend minimum 4 months with your students in grooming them. Then only you will go for main examination test. It is like that. So training is first mandatory. Testing should come later. And yeah, I will give my contact detail later on. Jupyter Notebook, while calculating precision recall, do we need to mention POS label in bracket? What is POS label? POS underscore label. Now, let me check it out. Will I use like that? POS underscore label. See, this is the way. Precision score, Y test and Y predict and F1 score and recall score, like that only. Yeah, positive class label. No, you no need to give anything like that. So automatically it will take. So it will, the role of that function itself, considering positive, false positive, false negative. That is the role of precision and recall. How much the algorithm is good at predicting type 1 class, good at in predicting type 2 class. So that is what related to precision and recall. There is one more trade-off is there. Whenever we are approaching classification, if you try to improve the prediction accuracy of one class, other class is a compromising. Well, let us imagine in this case we have malignant and benign. No, for example, I want to increase the, my boss is telling to increase the accuracy of M, category M. If I try to improve M prediction accuracy more, at a time it is not possible to improve. For B category. It is not possible for me to improve for the B category. This is the only drawback. It is not possible. What is possible is one at a time only we can improve. Either you can concentrate on improving the accuracy of prediction B or M. This, the moment you look at things separately, only precision and recall is required. Please understand. Now I am giving now itself the answer. So whenever considering both related to accuracy, the moment you are biased to M prediction, I want M should be perfect. I want more result or accuracy for M. I want, or one more of you argue with me, I want more accuracy for B. In that circumstances only, we need to worry about improving precision or recall. Then we need to learn a lot. Only focusing on how to improve the precision and recall, we need to focus. Now, hope so you would be getting. Yeah, validation and testing both can perform. The meaning, validation and testing? Yeah, random forest, it does both validation. That is what validation. Yeah, validation. In one of the boosting, explicitly I used cross validation. I used what is cross validation? I'll show one theory part. This also now. Then here, out of bag is a concept used in random forest for the validation. This is meant for, both are applicable for random forest. What is out of bag? Now itself I start the theory. I said that random forest is for taking the sample randomly. While taking the sample randomly, all the time rand function is the function helpful for randomization. So that rand function may not what to say, 1 minute, that rand function may not pick few of the records. Those records are called out of bag. These out of bags are, after building the random forest, it will be given to every tree. Then it will go for cross validation. I already said what is cross validation. While cooking, if I start sipping sambar for understanding the ingredient proportion, that is called cross validation while cooking itself. And normalization is required for 1 minute. Logistic regression, it is highly required, essential, because it uses indirectly linear model. The moment linear model exists, logistic regression, tomorrow I will touch upon this. So it needs to be in the normalized form. So it depends upon the model. Depending upon the model, one example only I am giving, logistic regression. Logistic regression, it is essential to give the normalized data. Other model we need to learn, we need to do. Especially for this data, it is not normalized. Most of the columns are not normally distributed. That is the reason I tried min-max normalization. That after min-max normalization also, I couldn't bring back to the normal distribution, but it works well. So depending upon the model. So mainly logistic regression, it is mandatory. Linear regression, it is mandatory. It is mandatory. Rest all, I'm not sure. We need to spend a time. Just 10 days ago, I was conducting learning activity for all the faculty SRM workshop. So I created a Google form, in-depth questions asked for every model. I'll walk through that Google form also. So teacher need to choose any one algorithm. I have given freedom of 12 algorithms. They can choose any one model. Then they need to walk through, give answer like this. You are asking now, is normalization is required? What are all the hyperparameter tuning technique? For one particular model, they need to answer for that Google form. That is the activity I have conducted. So if you wish, I can conduct for you also. Ma'am, when to use robot scalar? Very good question. Next, I was expected, so one of you will pull me. There is standard scalar, one function is there. Another one is robust scalar is available. You can try all. The one simple answer, if you know math well, the distribution, how the math is working for every model. See, ultimately I'm talking model, no. It is after all a mathematics. Every model has its own mathematics. The relationship between the data and the model. Already I said model and the data. That relationship we need to understand. If you are able to understand relationship, then it is easier for us to go for using any one of the scalar technique. I used in this model min-max. No, I haven't even attempted, but it is a ready-made function. Robust scalar and standard scalar is a ready-made function. It works based on the range of the data. Automatically it works. Robust scalar will take the range relationship, range information. So that is the beauty of, or we can use robust scalar most of the places than standard scalar. So there are two functions. These are all packages or standard. Okay. These are all standard. Okay. That's fine. These are all inbuilt functions of Python. That's all. You just read the particular manual, you can understand much more better. Like how I am using min-max transformation, instead we can use these two. We can try with this first. See, I was sitting and writing the formula min-max, the x minus NP dot min, X minus min divided by max minus min. This is the formula. Then manually I was interpreting, I was doing this code. It was tedious process. Instead, you plug the function, this and that. Yeah, range information means interquartile range. No. That just yeah, complete range. Max minus min is the range. Suppose I said na age, 1 month baby, 120 years senior citizen. What is the range? 120 year minus that 1 month baby, how you will represent? 0.1 only you can represent. Or let us say 1 year baby, 1. What is the range of this data? 119 is the range. Interquartile range is different. So this all comes under foundation. Just you can stick to school level syllabus. That is more than sufficient understanding. Yeah, very good. Warmed up with a question answer. Let us move on to the theory portion. We will come back again to the question and QA session. Wait a minute. I am again struggling to find out the buttons. Screen. 1 minute. I just to show you what are all the material I'm having. If you wish, I can give data modeling stages. Actually, we supposed to start like this. Before stepping into the data science, what are all the basic understanding we would be requiring? We need to walk through like that. See, data reading is the first step. So these are all the variations or variant data formats available. So again, there is a concept behind of when to use what data, that all again deeper. So just walk through quickly. Because if I give you the document, you should understand what is what, no, otherwise you can't appreciate. So this is data modeling stages. In my perspective, I have compiled. Whenever I learn, whenever I know new information, I'll be periodically updating. This one document I will grow every week. So next is pre-processing. What you can do in the pre-processing or data cleaning. Number 1, handling missing value. How to do missing value, I will walk through a little bit later. Wait for a minute. A lot of excitement I have. Data consistency check. Duplication. There are data will have duplication entry in the record. That we need to check. Dummy variable or label encoding. What is dummy variable? This is the word related to Python. Don't worry. Label encoding. All the, if you look at the entire machine learning model, it is after all a maths. If you say this is math, then I got to know now where to use this all pens. Yeah, math. Have you seen ever math using English words? Math never can use English words. It can you understand, or parameter can be given only numerical value or integer value. So that we need to convert all the categorical variables need to be in the numerical representation or machine readable form or mathematical form. That is called encoding. That much is sufficient right now. I'll tell once again later. Rows are otherwise called instances or observation or records. These are all the words will revolve around. We need to understand these are all the words. So this is a few tips I want to give. That's all. Not complete. Next, we are moving on. If you wish, I can shift the syllabus also. If you like it, I continue with this. Yeah. Next, exploratory data analysis. You can do with numerical or you can do with graphical. That is what visual analytics. Descriptive analytics is numerical analysis. So your primary role is to understand what is dependent variable, what is independent variable. That is most of the first we should understand what is the type of model we should use. Yeah, I'll share with you. Don't worry. The moment I show any document, you all will ask me. I know that earlier. So I will give it to you. Don't worry. So this variable understanding is much more important. Understanding the problem, we need to understand dependent and independent variable. Only then, first you need to understand the model. Which model? Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, depending upon the problem statement or given the data, what you want to explore out of the data. Based on that, you need to choose which model, whether supervised or unsupervised. If it is supervised, immediately you should be in the position to understand dependent variable, independent variable. It is must. Next, independent variable, otherwise called X variable, parameter, feature, predictor variable. These are the words we should know while reading a paper or reading any article. Then we will mess up. Then dependent variable, Y variable, response variable. Next, descriptive analysis. Normally, descriptive analysis goes with mean, mode, median, and interquartile range, central tendencies, and what else? The frequencies. These are all comes under. Yeah, then univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, correlation analysis, univariate, bivariate, correlation. What is these all? Univariate analysis is understanding about one particular row is called univariate analysis. What is bivariate? The word itself shows bi. Bi means two. Two different features interrelationship. For example, car engine, fuel type. Definitely there is a relationship, no? Depending upon which engine, which fuel. Fuels, there are many. Petrol is there, diesel is there, gas is there, electric is there. So many things are there, no? That is fuel. So engine and this, I should be in the position to understand the interrelationship, or else we can say cross tabulation. So that cross tabulation analysis comes into bivariate analysis. Next topic is correlation analysis. Whenever one participant asked a question, is it necessary to have normal distribution? Similarly, we need to understand the model, whether that model is linear model. Yesterday itself I used this word, linear model, non-linear model. Two models are there. Every model fall into any one of this category. So if it is linear model, it is mandatory to go for correlation analysis. Non-linear model, there is another metrics available. I will shortly introduce. It is a different way, non-linear model. 1 minute. Yeah. After morning session, now I have explored this. Yeah. Next is normality check. 600 plus normalization techniques available. Normality check, skew check is available. Whether the particular what to say, the distribution is skewed. What is skewed? Normal distribution means exactly it should resemble this bell curve. This is called normal distribution. If this distribution is shifted, then it is called skewed. So this is left skewed. Where the tail is there, that is called skewed. Right distribution, 1 minute, how I need to draw? Yeah, right distribution. This is right skewed. So this skewed data, skew information, we can look at through skews, we can able to interpret normally distributed or not. If not, simply go for visual plot. It is a histogram plot or scatter plot. With these two plots, it is possible to understand histogram and scatter plot. Easily we can understand whether the data is normally distributed or near normal. Exact normal, please don't. Next step. If it is nearly normally distributed, near normal distribution, we can proceed with. Then correlation check. That is what I said. If the model is linear model, then we need to go for linearity check. If it is not, we no need to do that. Next is multicollinearity check. This is important for all the linear model. These two are related to linear model, maximum linear model, but it is suitable for decision tree also. Even decision tree this exists, I think so. I will, because without concrete I can't declare. What is multicollinearity? I will explain you. Multicollinearity can be done after the correlation analysis. What is correlation analysis? I am having feature 1, I am having feature 2, I am having feature 3, etc. Let me write. We can remove correlated features, right? Yeah, 1 minute I'll tell you answer. After this you can understand. Feature 3, I am having feature 4. So there are 4 features I am having. I need to find out correlation analysis. How we find out correlation? It is a matrix. F1 cross, F2 cross, F3 cross, F4. So this is the way I will do correlation analysis. Then correlation will be filled with 0. Normally the primary diagonal would be 1. That's all. This is not our interest. F1 to F2, let us say for example 0.9. F1 to F3, let us say for example 0.92. This correlation analysis we need to do with independent variable to dependent variable. There are a lot of intricacies. I'll come one by one. Multicollinearity analysis we need to do with independent variable to independent variable. Please pay your attention. This is where both are different. Now I am talking about, let us say for example, all the independent variable. I am talking about all the independent variable. Let us say for example, or include dependent variable also. It is all together we can work on. This is 0.9. This is 0.92. Next is 0.6 or 0.2. Let us say for example. What is understanding is that if it is linear model, very least correlation value, whichever the features are given with a dependent and independent relationship, when we are getting least correlation, almost we can say less than 0.3 itself, very poor correlation. This is poor correlation. These are all the variables. If you have more variable, you can throw it out. You can delete. Blindly you can delete, because these variable cannot explain more. If you have more variable only, I am telling, please understand that word. Then if it is having high variable, what we need to do? Look at it here carefully. 0.9 I have written, 0.92 I have written. This is 0.9 and 0.92. This is the danger called multicollinearity. One variable, if it is involved with a high correlation, it is called multicollinearity. Most of the linear models will not entertain this multicollinearity. Why? Because morning one participant explained the variability, variation, explainable, like that. Two parameters, two features are trying to explain, dominating. F2 and F3 both are trying to explain a lot for the prediction. For example, at time participants are unmuting. If two members are shouting, how you can listen others? You will get confused. You will have a lot of what is a cognitive fatigue. You will tired. You will feel. So that is like F2, F3 both are having good explanatory power. 0.9, 0.92. It will explain a lot for the prediction. Helps a lot for prediction. But both are having equal power. This, how to resolve is the question. There are a lot of technique available for identifying this multicollinearity. One is Akaike information criteria. If not, trial and error. If you don't know this coding, and if you don't know the philosophy behind of AIC, directly retain this feature, remove this feature, run the model, execute the model, see the result. Then remove the feature F2, retain the feature F3, run the model and see the result. Which one is doing better, you can take into consideration. Another combination, both of the models, run the model, see the result. These are all the three combinations if the multicollinearity exists between two variables. Highest correlation only we need to consider. For example, one more point, another scenario I'm writing, no way this is related. So for example, this is having 0.3, this is having 0.35. Then this already it explains a smaller amount only, 30%, or the power of explanation is less than 30%. That is an indication. Now what you can do with this, if it is existing also, it is not existing also, not is our matter. High correlation only we need to, near one I can say, or greater than 0.8. That and all I cannot figure it out. It is high correlation, that's all. That is the only word you can see in the literature. This numerically I don't know. I am assuming 0.8 and above, if tries to explain more than one variable, tries to give the same answer, then we need to do this kind of iterations. So that is the meaning of multicollinearity. Multicollinearity, if it exists. Other way, I will tell you one more way. I am going and having tea at one of my friend's house. It is elachi flavor tea. It was tasting good. I'm going to another house. I'm having tea. It is ginger flavor. I'm going to one more house. They are giving tea and it is cinnamon flavor. Three different flavors are tasting good. Just because of that, if I mix all the three, I may vomit also, or the tea will be collapsed also. So one at a time is good testing. Just because of all are good, if I try to put everything inside while making tea, what will happen? Anything may happen. Food poisonous also may happen. Our taste may collapse. Or I may feel irritated. Anything may happen. It is like that. This is the example or analogy I can give for multicollinearity. With that, you can hope so understand. Next is removal of unwanted column. This is very careful. This is partially artistic, partially scientific. We should know the data, domain knowledge, how the data has come, from where it has come, what is the power of that data. All those concepts we need to understand, background analysis. After that, artistic nature we need to apply. Then which model we are working. Depending upon that model, scientifically we need to approach. Then significant variables becomes insignificant. That is the word multicollinearity. This I have taken from one of the video, Mr. Srinivas from XLR. He used this word, significant word. He is a trainer. He used this word. I have taken imitating his word. So significant variable becomes insignificant. That is a multi. See, F2 and F3 having highest power. F2 and F3, 0.9 and 0.92. Both are significant, but not permitted at a time. That is multicollinear. There are two methods to deduct one: correlation analysis, variation inflation factor. Sorry, I given wrong answer. I think so. Yeah, AIC I have given. No, not that one. See, variation inflation factor. So this is the two method available to deduct multicollinearity. So direct method is correlation analysis. This is easier. This again we need to understand the math behind of it, coding behind of VIF, then interpretation. Normally above 3 VIF need to be considered as a multicollinearity. That is the only hint I know. Beyond that I don't know. Let us see next. Next, removal of unwanted column over. Feature engineering. Feature engineering, partially art, partially science. Again, like a removal. How we need to do? I will tell feature engineering what. For example, you are trying to sell a second-hand car for the Carwala. There is a website called Carwala. You may be a buyer or you may be a seller, whatever. For the customer point of view, human point of view, we will tell number of years used, number of year purchased, which year we purchased, number of years used, number of years used. These two variable we used to give for the human, but machine, this will be this into feature engineering. What is feature engineering? I can convert the purchase, the number of years used, and at present, now only the car is coming for the sale. Then using these three, number of at present date minus this, I can calculate age of the car. I can transform. Instead of these three variable dumping to the machine, cleverly we need to work. All the three are trying to convey some information. The age of the car is the information it is giving. How cleverly we can transform these three into one single feature is what? Feature engineering. Another example I'll tell you. House. See, if you are buying a new house or if you are buying a old house, whatever, what are all the way you will give specifications to the buyer or seller? How you will give? First floor, square feet, second floor, square feet, built up area, square feet, the total area, square feet. So many information you will give. Garage area in foreign country, they won't keep portico like Indians. They will keep one more hut like adjacent. Their car parking will happen. So garage area in square feet. If you give this much, machine will collapse, cannot understand anything. Why can't you transform this all into total square feet and built up square feet? Finally, the rate of the house is decided by total square feet and built up square feet only, not based on how much square feet you have on the first floor, second floor, third floor. We need to transform this 5 feature. One of the Boston house prediction for the linear regression is one of the famous notebook in the Kaggle, that even they conducted a what to say, Kaggle competition. So there you will find these are all the 5 features. These are all the 5 features. What is going to explain finally? Why not we reduce this 5 feature into these 2 features? Total square feet of my house built up square feet of my house, or I can remove this also, built up square feet and unused square feet, or not built square, whatever. Anyway, you need to reduce this 5 into 2. This is called feature engineering. So this all dependent upon context to context. If agri data, if you do, it will be different. If you do IoT data, it will be different. It all depending upon the domain. Next, dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction, we need to be very careful. This is always related to columns, not with respect to rows. Dimensionality reduction is related to columns, column 1, column 2, column 3. More the columns, it is very tough for the model to build. When the machine will end, whether memorization or what will happen, we don't know. Number of columns we need to reduce. When this you need to consider, number of columns are at least 10 and above, we need to be careful. 10 and above. In this model, I have obtained accuracy for 99.4 using PCA, reduced the dimension. I didn't bring that book. Then I gone for random forest. For this I got 99%. Then using PCA, I did dimensionality reduction. Then I had gone for boosting. I don't know which boosting and all. I didn't remember. Before lockdown, I have written, now only submitted and published. Before with the boosting, I got 99.2. Then using TSNE, dimensionality reduction, this is a latest modern method, it is called TSNE. After TSNE, random forest I used for this 99 point almost 8, 100 also reached. That through hypertuning parameter, I reached 100 because it is not good to write 100 all the time in the machine learning. So 99.9, I have written 99.8. So this is how the combination you need to work. So this dimensionality reduction, when the number of, in this cancer data, I have 30, no? So it is more number of columns, no? Why can't I apply dimensionality reduction is the question. I didn't do any feature engineering, feature selection. Feature selection I used for your demonstration. I didn't use any feature selection in the notebook. Now, when to use, there are 3 famous technique. Dimensionality reduction, famous only I'm telling, PCA, LDA, linear determinant analysis, principal component analysis. These 2 are called linear models. The math itself, eigenvector, eigenvalue. Eigenvector, eigenvalues are related to these all directions. These all linear models. Then TSNE is non-linear dimensionality reduction. This is invented by some PhD scholars only in 2008. That is why it is called modern method. Whatever we are talking, please understand, I will show you one thing. These all data science is not today. Way back 1843 itself, these all have come. All the concepts, whatever we are discussing, have come in 1843. But because nowadays data is flooding around, people are in need of this. That's all. Feature selection and when to use. Yeah, there are different techniques. We need to try all. Given the data, if you want to win the game, win the hackathon, you need to try. Win the paper, you need to try all. When to use, when not to use, there is no crisp answer. That's all. So this is what dimensional reduction. Outlier influencing point deduction removal. Outlier will pull the data. Yesterday I have shown in the overfitting and underfitting what happened. One of the outlier noisy data started giving this boundary. This is called overfitting. Overfitting happened in the yesterday diagram which I shown. Next, data transmission. This also has lot many topic, data transmission. So we did now min-max transmission. That is one of the data transmission technique. You ask standard scalar and robust scalar, that all data transmission. This is a little bit related to this one. Normality check only is said. Then next 600 data transmission techniques available. That's all. Feature selection. Random forest we use, that is one of the feature selection. Random forest itself is one of the feature selection. In the document, next document, your random forest syllabus document, I have mentioned all the feature selection techniques. So you can use any one of the feature selection. Nobody can assure. See, I don't know whether God himself can give answer for this all the questions or not. Nobody can assure which model will work better, when to use what and all. Nobody can assure. We need to think. That is why it is called biggest domain. We can remove correlated features, right? No, correlated features for the linear model, we should not remove, Rajkumar. That's all. So we need to try all the model. That is the final answer. Now we move on to the next topic. This is what we did in the morning. Split rule, train test split. Row splitting, this is the rule. Column splitting, this is the rule. But that's all, nothing more to talk. Morning we discussed, so no, I don't touch upon. I'll just move forward. Where is that? Yeah. Next, modeling. Mathematical model only, data modeling. What is data modeling? Don't say Python. Then mathematical modeling, statistics, probability, linear algebra, differential calculus. These are all only inside, nothing more inside. These all we studied in BE or schooling level. Somewhere we would have studied. None of you can say never I studied any one of these, at least partially, fully. Then data modeling is possible when we want to communicate with machine. We should know something, no? So that Python, SAS, R, Julia, Java, MATLAB also. I didn't mention that is a popular and olden language, MATLAB. So these are all the language we can use it for data modeling. Model validation, we should know matrices for the model validation. Then model tuning. This is what I say, hyperparameter tuning. Then revalidation we need to do. Now these are all the ways. Yesterday itself I have shown to you this. So model validation, then model improvement technique. For most of the classification algorithm, probability classification algorithm only it will work. Boosting technique, these are all the boosting techniques available. Then hyperparameter L1, L2 regularization is also one of the technique. Improvising model, gradient boosting, light gradient boosting method, cat boost, XG boost, ADA boost, these all. Hyperparameter tuning technique, grid search CV, randomized CV. What is the difference between these two are? See, for example, 5555 parameters I am giving to tune. Then it will take 3125 runs. So I don't know when it will end the notebook. Maybe overnight it may execute. Whereas randomized search, the moment it do certain run, 10 runs, 25 runs, out of the 10 to 25 runs, it will come out with whatever the best within that run. That is the only difference between grid and randomized. The choice is yours. Whether you want to run for all the combinations overnight, you can run. You are welcome. But if you don't want, you want to run only for the specific model, I want to only 10 run, 20, 15 run, then you can use randomized CV. So it's all having trade-off or choices given to the programmer. Next, data availability, fixed source. I will give you this tomorrow. I'll give you where and all the data available. Again, domain, business intelligence, in and out we should know. Relevant to that data we should know. Business scenario, context, challenge, perception disequilibrium. What is perception disequilibrium? Is something going wrong in the business or something we want to improve in the business. That is called disequilibrium. Always disequilibrium is MATLAB can support to Python. No. MATLAB is different language. Python is different language. Two different language. It will not support Python and all. That is separate. This is separate. Like Urdu and Tamil, there is no way related. No, Urdu and Tamil. At least Malayalam and Tamil is related. No, it is like that. Problem statement. We need to understand variability. Expectation from each stakeholder would be different upon same data set. So that is a variability called. Given the data set, everyone will look at in different perspective. Data is ready to speak with you. Are you ready to listen? That is called exploratory data analysis. Model, that's all. Language, and goes on. Data pre-processing, cleaning, data wrangling, sometimes referred to data munging, feature engineering. Dimensionality reduction, more number of columns are present in the data. Model building, change the model. Action, that's all. Now, this is very interesting point. This I have done Kaggle Nano course. After COVID, that resource person declined not to teach. Because of COVID declaration, he is having some issues, so he wanted to stop the course. I have come across one of the great guru through Kaggle Nano course. So missing value imputation. Through that course, I learned this. What is imputation? Filling. That's all technical word. We will be a bit afraid. The value is missing. How to fill up? So that we need to understand numerical feature, categorical feature. If this is missing, what to do? If this is missing, what to do? Next, if the feature ratio, missing ratio is above 60, I used to throw. Choice is yours. If you don't want to throw, you can retain and do imputation, because 60% data is missing. What is the use of retaining that column is my question. Next, supervised learning helpful for imputation, regression, numerical feature, classification, categorical feature. So classification for regression, the same random forest you can use it for missing value imputation. Another is XGBoost random forest. These are all the two techniques you can use for imputation, automatic imputation through algorithm. A numerical feature, if it is missing, you can impute with mean when the data is normally distributed. This is what a new learning happened for me within Kaggle Nano course. Earlier I was not knowing. Nowhere I seen in the internet also. So you can validate this claim also. Impute with median for skewed distribution. So this is for skewed distribution. We need to go for median imputation. Last week hackathon, I did median imputation because of that skewed data. Majority imputation mode. This is useful for only categorical feature. That's all. This is so missing value you need to do. There are plenty of technique. What I know, I'm just this is after 3 months to 6 months of my data science learning, I have learned this. What is trimmed means 1 year baby, 120-year aged person, I'm having the data, let us imagine. So the range is too much. 1 year baby also available only one person, 120-year person is also available in my data only one. Why can't I throw those two? Then maybe 6-year baby and 65 years old. Then this is called trimmed mean estimator. I need to trim the extremities, then I need to go for mean calculation. This is one of the imputation technique. That's all. Next, 1 minute. Olympic filter. This is called Olympic filter. Okay, this trimmed mean is Olympic filter. Thank you. Yeah, I will note it down. I don't know. I will cross check also. Right now, I will. It can be said outlier also. Outlier, one data alone you can't say outlier. After interrelationship only you can find out outliers, extremities. Now this word is given by you, so I will just note down. Then later on I will convert. Next is the key components: data, model, and algorithm. Data we can learn from the model, how to transform the data. Loss function quantifies the badness of our model. An algorithm to adjust the model's parameter to minimize the loss we should know. Next, one hot encoding. I said now categorical. If it is categorical, how it can start? We can't make our model to learn it now, so that we need to transform it into encoding. This is called one hot encoding. What is one hot encoding? Is it will increase the number of variables: human, penguin, octopus, alien. These are all the possible values are available. I need to list, create new columns, or Python will create new columns. What it does is, for the record number 1, human is given, so that a human is filled with 1. Human is filled with 1. Rest all filled with 0. Next row, human is given, so filled with 1. Next row, penguin is given, so penguin is filled with 1, rest all 0. Octopus is given, filled with 1. This is called dummy variable. I said that dummy variable function in the Python does this for us naturally. The dummy variable does. There is one more function is also available, one hot encoder. Here itself I have given you. So this dummy variable is the function I use for one hot encoding. This is the name of the function, dummy variable in Python. This is another technique. Never I used it. So this. There is one more method. For example, I have 1 to 4 varieties of items in this column. So why can't I label all the human by one? This already available. Sorry, I have striked out. Why can't I label all the human by 1, all the human by 1, penguin by 2, all the octopus by 3, alien by 3? This is called label encoding. Two are given. This is label encoding. This is one hot encoding. There are another grouping and encoding is also possible. Why, when to use that grouping and encoding is, for example, if you look at Amazon website, they will have lot of, 1 minute, lot of cloth, that fashion item. If you go, they will have women fashion wear, women casual wear, and women what to say, anything else, traditional wear, something like that they will keep. Then men fashion wear, men casual wear, men traditional wear, like that. These many items are good for the customer, not for the machine. These all need to be grouped into one category. These all need to be grouped into one category. Similarly, child fashion wear, child casual wear, child traditional wear, like that, if it is available, I need to group it into another category. This may be the group number 1, group number 2, group number 3. This is called grouping and encoding. These all context dependent. Then immediately if you ask when to use what, no, I can't give answer. So there are many more encoding techniques available. Even I'm not sure. So these are all the encoding technique. Whatever I know, I'm telling. Next, categorical feature. This all we have discussed. Look at encode categorical features with integer. That is what label encoding works for 3 models such as decision tree, random forest. They themselves have given. Label encoding will work better for these are all the techniques. See, luckily it is available. Today only I'm reading, I think so. Works for tree model. These are all tree models. This label encoding will work good for these all. Definitely not to work for linear models. See, linear model. GLM, linear kernel, logistic regression. Never I read, today only I'm reading. SVM, neural networks. So these all useful for label encoding, will not work for this, will work for this. They themselves have given. So sklearn pre-processing, one hot encoder package you can use for these concepts. Let us move on to the next topic. Scaling numerical feature. This is what a standardization, normalization, that is called scaling. This quite amount of time we discussed the standard scalar, robot scalar, so many questions you have done. This is unnormalized, this is normalized data. Several way to interpret normalization and unnormalized, what to say, not normalized data. Box-Cox method is available. Several method transmission. I have given the link for all the transmission technique. It is mind-blowing. We can't even imagine. See, using Box-Cox method, skewed data is transferred to this. This is the method helpful for transformation. I forgot to tell. I said na z-score, log transformation, min-max transformation, standard scalar, and I said robust scalar. No. So these all one method. Box-Cox is ready-made method, but there is a science. In the document itself, the maths is given. What type of distribution is converted into normal distribution with the Box-Cox? It is given. The science is given. You can learn from that. Because I don't know. This package is SciPy Stats Box-Cox. Next, discretizing numerical feature. This we have seen. Age to age group. This is what discretization. Easy to interpret. For example, if I collect the age of all the members who are living in my quarters, I'm living in quarters. If I collect, what will happen? 1 day baby, 0, 1, 1 month baby, 1 year baby. So many category will be there. Why can't I group this all the baby category into one? That preschool category, not at all they are going to school, then primary school, then like that adult, or all this group I can treat it as a kid zone, then I can treat it as adult zone, and grown up adult and old age people, like that 4 category enough. No, what I can do with, so this is called discretization, numerical feature discretization. Then coming to feature engineering, see, coming up with feature is difficult, time consuming, requires expert knowledge. Applied machine learning is basically feature engineering, applied machine learning. So Feature engineering task, cleaning up the data, converting data into consumable formats, creating more informative feature. Machine informative feature is not for human, for the machine. Yeah, power transmission, that is related to mathematics. Good. Mamta, thank you, Professor Mamta. Box cost is used for power transmission. Right. Now, selecting most representative feature. This is what I said. Car example, house example, I said. Most representative feature we need to come out. Then decomposing date time. Whenever date and time is involved, we need to be very careful. We need to enumerate or we need to synthesize the date information. Then we need to understand which zone, which country also. Somebody is unmuted. It is irritating headache because of my headphone. Please mute your not speaking, but air sound is coming. Then exploratory data analysis, maximize insight. Why we are going for exploratory? This is where you are going to understand about the data. Without exploratory, we can't understand data at all. Uncover hidden pattern, extract important features. Organizer, I request you to find out who is unmuted. Please fix them or mute all. I will unmute myself. Detect outliers and anomalies, validate underlying assumptions. This is more important, validating underlying assumptions. Every model, lot of underlying assumptions are there. Luckily, random forest, no, very few underlying assumptions only. If we go to linear regression, this is the only toughest model I can say. Before learning, not for me now, this linear regression has lot of underlying assumptions. So this model alone in the SRM workshop, 3.5 days I have taken, almost 6 to 8 hours I handled this alone. Only linear regression, in and out. Organizing team, Usha ma'am, are you there? I request you to unmute. It is really irritating my head. Somebody,
Ma'am,
yeah. How
we are
to select?
muted. You can continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Verma, how to select best feature to process the model? Really, I can't teach you. Depending upon the data, that is where I'm telling this exploratory data analysis is meant for that only. How to choose model is given answer by this. No other shortcut method available. It is a sign we need to evolve. We need to evolve year by year, day by day, month by month. That's all. Measures of central tendency, spread or dispersion, relationship analysis, which tool to be used. These all the clue for the exploratory data analysis we are telling. Then not only this, how to interpret the result, how to apply, that is next. Visual data analysis is also exploratory data analysis. These are all the methods available, packages, corresponding packages. Why visualization is important, you can decide. Linear regression is for quantitative, logistic regression for quantitative. See, I have given detailed way for exploratory data analysis. You can read it later on. Because I'm deviating, I need to go to random forest. So these are all the Python tools. The moment you step into machine learning, minimum, these are all the package name we should know. Normally in the workshop, they will ask how many package I should know, what are all important package. That's why consolidated is available. This is cheat sheet, it is not. See, these are all the formula, main formulas for machine learning. Maths has come. This is what mathematics. Then next, types of databases. How the data comes from the database. We should know the next layer also. Next, Python data types, what are all available. Then finally, complete data. Who want to become a data scientist, you should know in and out of the chart. This is why I used to collect lot of cartoons, pictures from the social media. So holistic system architecture. This is ocean. You understand now. Looking into this, data science is a ocean, but a hot topic. After lockdown, for the data science alone, the expected job opportunities are 43 million waiting. 43 million job opportunities are waiting for the field of machine learning and the total artificial intelligence. Next, this is with respect to data. Olden days data warehouse, data lake and lake house. Because What is the difference every time? If you notice here, only structured data, here structured, semi-structured, unstructured data, YouTube audio, flat data, flat file, log data, image file, all together. Then ETL has come. Extract, transform, load is the power of data lake. From this year onwards, we need to call it as lake house. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, they are all using Amazon. These people are using lake house. How this lake house is, only the difference is streaming analytics. Look at this later on, compare and contrast, understand. Streaming analytics only high challenge, highly paid job. Streaming analytics, understand. Big data, streaming analytics, these people only can earn like crores. Expertise in streaming analytics deployment can earn like crores. They are crorepati's. 1 minute. These are all the V's has come: volume, variety, velocity, veracity, variability, visualization, value. You read under these are all the material. Enough. Let me move on to our story back. Screen. Yeah, this is the syllabus given for me today afternoon by the organizing team. But I am going zigzag. See, what is statistic? I'll walk through this. All the terminologies I have given here. For this material, see, look at this. 1943 itself, neural network is established by or introduced by McCullough, Pitt, in the conference. Those days conference I'm telling. So now nothing is new. We are all learning the old stuff. Say exploratory word is introduced 77. Before I born, just the year I born. Next 88. See, look at. Now Python is one of the best programming language, so that now it is becoming popular. Need, because everything automated. Bank is automated, e-commerce. After lockdown, everything I'm purchasing through website only. Earlier, at least I go here and there. Now no more movement. These are all the types of data, formats of data, when to use, what to use, applications of AI. These are all introduction. So descriptive data analytics, predictive, prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive involved with a lot of stochastic model also, and linear programming, operation research also. We are in this workshop, we are touching upon this and touching upon this. That's all. So I'll give you this document also. Don't worry. Types of data. So this we need to understand. So next is, now the challenge of the data science is hot topic today is next best action. This is a hot topic. People are working for automatically machine learning should help the people. What is the next best action? So that is where AI is playing vital role. What is the syllabus given? See, competitive advantage of business analytics. Why we need to do analytics? What are all the advantages? So this I prepared for my students, not for your material. So luckily the same topic they have given. Uber and Ola case study. I used to talk for 1 hour. For this the video I have created. It is there. Chatbot is one of the hot topic. Past, what happened. This is related to descriptive. Present, what is happening now. This is also given by alert. So machine learning will give report, alerts and extrapolation. What will happen also it will tell. This is the power, or this is the use of machine learning. What happened, what is happening, what will happen. Answer for all those three is given by machine learning. Yeah, today's topic I'll give 1 minute. I let me complete this one. Then 1 minute. So these are all the advantage of data analytics when come to business line: competitive advantage, alignment, dynamic price fixing. So this is a very hot area. Anybody you specialize, you will become superstar. Dynamic price prediction. This is for flight services. This is Uber and Ola. These all are under Airbus. These guys are working, and their app is working based on dynamic price prediction. So yeah, see in the flight, no, none. Stock market, very good. Stock market. None of two people will be paid same. These are all dynamic price prediction. This is very hot cake. Most of the time, financial analytics goes with dynamic price prediction. So that's all. Clue only I'm giving, because 1 hour nobody can teach you anything. 1.5 month course if you register, or 2 months course if you register, only can be taught. So, but eye opening I'm doing statistics analysis, descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. Healthcare sector, yeah, there are plenty. Now, nowadays, every sector AI and data analytics plays a role. No sector is left out. Slowly we are moving. Industry 4.0 is in our dream only. We are not into industry 4.0. After 2020, 2021, people are going to step into this. By 2025, across the globe, people will reach industry 4.0. This will happen after 5G only. 5G is brought into the commercial aspect, infrastructure only it is possible. Before that, it is not possible. So now let us understand what is descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics will help us what happened, what is happening, that's all. What is inferential? Always population, most of the time we may not able to work for population. This population inference we cannot take. So that what we do is we will work for sample. For the sample, whatever the hypothesis is formulated, from the hypothesis we will infer the conclusion or inferences to extend. We will infer and extend to the population. It is called inferential. Enough. I will tell only one example. See, COVID vaccination has come. Are they applying to all the population? Not possible. People may die also, costly affair also. They will work for injecting this vaccination for the sample. They are in the observation period. The people, those who have injected with the vaccination, minimum short term, long term, minimum 6 months to 1 year, they need to be into the observation, because long term side effect, short term side effect, they will be observing. Once if it is successful with this sample, they will be extending to the population. That's all. This is called inferential statistic. This is a real-time example. This is how this works. I'm trying to make you to understand. That's all. Now let us move on to measures of frequency, measures of central tendencies, measures of dispersions or variations. These all detailed information I have given. Then explanation also in the video available. Measures of position, position understanding only, quartile ranks, quartile, interquartile range. These all will help. Estimators. Two estimator, point estimation, interval estimation. Most of the machine learning, we are working with this interval estimation. Indirectly, point estimation helps for this, not directly. This is helpful for this. If you calculate mean, no, that is point estimation. If you put interval, 80% of years Melbourne receives between 440 to 800 mm rain. So then it is anything within the interval. For example, income band $1,000 to $2,000. Shall I issue a credit card? Will be a danger for me. If I start analyzing this, this is called interval estimation. Within certain interval, we need to take conclusion whether should I issue a credit card or not, or CIBIL score. In India, we use CIBIL score. So in the CIBIL score, I don't know the range and all. Let us say, for example, 200 to 250. Within this CIBIL score, is it possible to give a loan? Or can I give a credit card? Or can I give a business loan? Or can I give a agri loan? This is a problem statement for the banker, not for me. They need to work on within this band group people. Then the confidence interval